The Supreme Court of the United States, or SCOTUS, continues to shoot itself in the nuts, or scrotus. He said he wouldn't do them anymore, but then lying Stephen Colbert. No talent guy, broke his promise to himself, really. How does he look himself in the mirror at night? Sad. I believe in our constitutional government. I believe in the separation of powers. And I wish the Supreme Court felt the same way.
Stephen Colbert is one of the most vocal detractors of former President Donald Trump, even at the time that Trump was still serving in the White House. In light of the recent development that the hush money cases against Donald Trump have been concluded, it is not surprising that Colbert had something to say about the matter. In this section, we will go over all of the specifics of his live TV comments, including all of the inside jokes, subtle contextual comments, and the brilliant satirical contributions that Colbert made. It's time to get started. The beginning clip that you saw was taken from a video in which Colbert was criticizing the Supreme Court for not taking decisive action against Donald Trump during the hush money cases that he was going through recently. It would appear that Colbert is making a veiled reference to the fact that the judicial system has been manipulated in favor of the previous president. After that, he goes on to demonstrate his dissatisfaction by uttering this amusing line.
With scandals over the past few years, including Clarence Thomas's wife promoting the coup on January 6th, and Clarence Thomas himself.
So what if he wants to grab pussy? I want to grab pussy. I wish I could grab as much pussy as he is.
Dragging Clarence Thomas and his wife for their behavior and relationship with you-know-who, while at the same time discreetly bringing Samuel Alito into the fray as well. That's not such a great way to spend your days out of office, Alito. Furthermore, Colbert explicitly implicated Alito by presenting proof that he had hung an upside-down flag a day after the event that occurred on Capitol Hill in January. The upside-down flag had specific implications regarding Alito's allegiances, and Colbert showed evidence that he had hung the flag. With this low-hanging fruit of a punch, Colbert proceeded to roast the former president before moving on to the main entree.
Clarence Thomas himself accepting luxury vacations from the guy who owns Hitler's napkin.
The American dream is dead.
And when it comes to January 6th cases argued before the court, Alito has been highly sympathetic.
Regarding the previous president's sex scandal trial, he stated the following: "The unfortunate reality is that until roughly 6 years ago, the majority of what was purportedly being disclosed was, in fact, fairly common knowledge." Startled, Colbert, though, didn't stop there, as he brutally dragged Michael Cohen into the case, labeling him the prosecution's star witness and a Trump fixer, and displaying an embarrassing photo of Cohen attempting to open his car. He discreetly dropped this phrase to further his own agenda. Vintage Stephen Colbert. During the hearings, Cohen was put on the spot, and this is what he said regarding the sexual accusations made against Trump by adult film star Stormy Daniels.
Cohen's testimony seems to prove that Trump was directly involved in paying off Stormy Daniels. For instance, yesterday, Cohen told the court that after first resisting, Trump eventually ordered him to pay Daniels $130,000, telling him, "Just do it."
Colbert conveyed this information to us in a way that was not only clever, but also hilarious. He had the entire audience laughing in no time. Without much difficulty, he also performed a superb imitation of the previous president's voice. Even though the trial didn't exactly go as most of us would have hoped, Colbert still managed to make this remark that would have made Trump snicker no matter where he was. Colbert was there to remind us that Trump farting during the court proceedings must have been at the top of the list of the funniest things that happened in America this year.
Cohen told the court that after first resisting, Trump eventually ordered him to pay Daniels $130,000, telling him, "Just do it."
You're fine with Trump as king?
Yes.
Trump as king is good.
Yep.
And that's about as American as you can get.
Yes, it is.
King Trump.
Today, testimony ended in the first ever criminal trial of a former president of the United States. Now, it may not have been the Trump trial we all wanted.
The Trump team would be hard-pressed to forget this moment. He then made fun of the rumor that Trump had attempted to use Cohen to pay adult film star Stormy Daniels by sending her a check for a predetermined amount. Colbert would pull off the most brilliant move, if you know him well. This is something that you really ought to witness for yourself. That certainly made the audience go crazy. Nobody anticipated that comeback, I bet. However, as they say, what goes around comes around. More importantly, though, the fact that Trump's defense chose to take take a break without allowing its monarch to speak may also reveal something about the inner workings of the group. Perhaps the team has come to the realization that Trump is unable to close every loophole they have previously had to close. It will be difficult for him to put up with it given the numerous charges that have been brought against him. Perhaps that is true. Perhaps it isn't.
Had a fling with Stormy Daniels.
And paid her $130,000.
Hush money, yes.
And you're voting for him.
I am.
At least he farted. They can never take that away from us.
In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
Colbert then set up a low slinger with this thoughtful monologue that demonstrates what most people are probably thinking at the moment. It won't be long until we hear the final judgment and proceedings regarding Trump's hush money trials, and we must anticipate a guilty finding. In this 45-count indictment case, the former president would most likely require a miracle to be declared not guilty. All of these are, in fact, very low blows for Trump in the 2024 presidential contest, but Colbert tells us something that helps us recognize that the candidate is actually far worse off than we initially believed. That would be his MAGA fans, or the Make America Great Again crowd, Karens, elderly racist divorcees, and a few ranchers looking to discharge their weapons as loudly as possible make up the majority of this bunch.
Today was Trump's chance to wake up, snort a line of gas station energy powder, and get on that stand to prove that this is all a big Joe Biden witch hunt.
If he says it, then I'll go with it. And if he wants to be a dictator, then so be it.
Shocking, Trump is not talking? What happened? Did he write himself a check for $130,000?
Yes, those individuals. The irony in this tale is that while the public anticipated a sizable contingent of MAGA fans to show up for their ultimate leader Trump during the trials, guess what? Yes, a good number of them did not. Colbert himself has stated as much. What does this mean then? Is the number of Trump supporters declining? Has their blindness and incoherence vanished from their eyes?
She's a world-class liar. Just look at her pathetic email server statement.
Thank you for your instructions, Your Honor. We will return with a verdict after careful deliberation.
It is very sad that Joe Biden is clearly a dementia patient.
Could it be that a portion of Trump's ardent fans are now beginning to see the light? Regardless of the situation, Trump and his MAGA mafia appear to be losing ground right now. They don't appear to be the same formidable force that startled Capitol Hill's security and law enforcement on January 6th.
You may remember Cheese Bro as one of the no-good-a-nicks behind the 2020 plan to send a fake slate of electors to overturn the election for Donald Trump.
This stuff happens all the time.
What stuff? Paying off a porn star and then fudging business records?
Mr. Trump, I've got your results right here. How do you live? Your blood type came back as honey mustard.
Does Trump's golden hair no longer have the same shine? And the presidential contest, would this also be a decisive factor?